Serving for our invocation this morning will be a prayer of St. Thomas Aquinas that is often called a student's prayer. Creator of all things, true source of light and wisdom, origin of all being, graciously let a ray of your light penetrate the darkness of my understanding. Take from me the double darkness in which I have been born, an obscurity of sin and ignorance. Give me a keen understanding, a retentive memory, and the ability to grasp things correctly and fundamentally. Grant me the talent of being exact in my explanations and the ability to express myself with thoroughness and charm. Point out the beginning, direct the progress, and help the completion. I ask this in the name of Christ our Lord. Amen. Be seated.
Good morning and welcome, graduates, family members, friends, faculty, staff, and administration to the May commencement ceremony of William Woods University. I would ask that in respect for the graduates and our speakers, you check and make sure all cell phones and pagers are turned off at this time. At any commencement, those of us speaking to you want to impart some bit of wisdom for you to take with you. My bit of wisdom is related to our mission to educate and prepare you to be part of a global society. In relation to that mission, I want to remind you that there are 4 things you can never recover: the stone after a throw, the word after it's used, the occasion after the loss, and the time after it's gone. My congratulations to you graduates and to those who have supported you so you could reach your goal. We are hosting a reception for you and your families in front of the building immediately after the ceremony. At this time, I wish to introduce the members of the President's Party who have joined the faculty, who have joined us on the platform. From my far right, they are Mr. Dale LaRue, Member, Board of Trustees, Mr. Dan Westhuse, Member, Board of Trustees, Mr. Val Kilmer, our commencement speaker, Dr. Janae Barnett, President of the University, Dr. Mike Westerfield, Vice President and Dean of the Graduate Program, Dr. Linda Davis, University Marshal, and Dr. Tom Frankman, Associate Dean. It is now my honor to introduce Dr. Janae H. Barnett, President of William Woods University, who will introduce our special guest and our commencement speaker.
Thank you very much. We're fortunate today to have several special guests who have chosen to share this occasion with us. First is Adam Brandy. Adam is here from LA. He is with our speaker. And for those of you who were fortunate enough to see Citizen Twain on Tuesday night and you saw Val Kilmer become Mark Twain, and later Mark Twain become Val Kilmer, it's Adam, the makeup artist, who is responsible for this. And I'm told that it takes a little over 2 hours. So Adam, we're glad you're here, and thank you. Elizabeth Ferris is also here. She is a member of our University Board of Trustees. Elizabeth, you're welcome to stand, please. Also, Gwen LaRue. Gwen is the wife of our trustee, Dale LaRue. And then I have a very special guest, and it is the first man of William Woods University, and it's my husband, Eddie Barnett. We also have another very special group of students among our graduates today. President's 20 is a select group of students who act as a liaison between me and the student body. I would ask that the members of President's 20 and today's graduating class and those who have assisted in today's ceremony on the front row, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. I know one young graduate, Drew, is especially concerned because I've told him 3 times this week that I really haven't signed his diploma yet. But I was in my office, Drew, when I went back, and you're under control. We certainly do welcome you, the friends and the family, who have gathered to honor our most special guest. And our most special guest are you, the graduates of 2000. Gosh, that sounds like a long time, 12. Every time I still want to write 19, y'all. That's because I've been here a while. But in addition to our very special guests, we have someone who has chosen to share this occasion with you. One of the most prolific actors of his generation, Val Kilmer is certainly among the most gracious commencement speakers we have had the pleasure of hosting here at William Woods. I have been president for more than 22 years, and I've sometimes held 2 or 3 commencements a year, and I have never, ever had a commencement speaker offer to provide as much to our students or to the university as Val Kilmer has. Many of you have asked how we managed to snag such a famous actor to come to William Woods to speak with you this morning. Well, I have my husband Eddie to thank for that. Until recently, Val owned a ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where Eddie and I also have a home. About a year ago, I was traveling to New Mexico, and I called to check in with Eddie, as I always do. You know how you check along the way to let everyone know you're safe and you're making it. Well, he didn't respond, and he didn't answer, and I was getting a little frustrated. Well, I later found out that he had been on the telephone with Val Kilmer for approximately 3 hours. He told me that, and I said, "And you say women talk a long time?" Anyway, they were discussing a lot about business and a lot about land in New Mexico and Val's ranch. Eddie and Val they decided and determined a lot of interest in common. Although those of you who know Eddie will be surprised to know that golf is not one of those interests. But the two became friends. However, despite numerous emails and several telephone calls, I had not met Val until last Sunday when he arrived at our home about a little bit off campus. I must say, though, that after this week, I feel as if I have known him a very long time. After all our correspondence in preparation for what we have dubbed Kilmer Week at William Woods. And it has been Kilmer Week at William Woods. Val has met with various groups of students. He enchanted us with his Citizen Twain performance, and he endeared himself to donors and friends of the university at 3 special dinners. After he accepted my invitation to speak at commencement, I did my own research. I wanted to see and learn a little bit more about the man, and I was amazed at the number of movies in which he has starred. As he told me in one email, he has spent his life pretending to be someone else. I remember that particular email when he wrote that, and he said, "I've spent my life pretending to be someone else." And I thought about all the people he has pretended to be. And then he followed that with, "Is that normal?" And I thought about it a while. He's been a very successful pretender of other people. And again, you will hear more about some of those, and especially Mark Twain later on. Some of Val's most memorable roles include the Iceman in Batman Forever, Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, Simon Templar in The Saint, and my personal favorite, Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Yeah. From his work in Spartan through his work with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in The Heat, to his early work with Tom Cruise in Top Gun, Val has worked with many of the film's most respected directors and actors. Val made his feature film debut in the comedy Top Secret, which he followed with Real Genius and his breakout role as the Iceman in Top Gun. More recently, Val starred in the horror film The Traveler and the new Francis Ford Coppola horror thriller, Twixt. Val has told me that he is truly thrilled to be receiving an honorary doctorate from William Woods University today. But I must tell you that his higher education started at the prestigious Juilliard School. Throughout its history, The Juilliard School has maintained a commitment to providing the highest caliber of artistic and educational experiences to exceptionally talented young performing artists from around the world. Although he attended college in New York, and I began my formal education at Arkansas State University, we do share something in common. We were both, at the time, the youngest students to be accepted to either school. I was 16 when I left high school and entered Arkansas State University in Jonesboro. As some of you know, I still do not have a high school diploma. But Val entered Juilliard's drama program at age 17. And although we were both high school dropouts of sorts, we've both managed to do just fine. Val's professional acting career began on stage, and he still participates in theater. Off-Broadway, he has appeared in The Slab Boys, Henry VI, Part 1, and 'Tis Pity She's a Whore. And in Los Angeles, he played Moses in The Ten Commandments, the musical. As those of us who have had the pleasure of seeing him in Citizen Twain Tuesday night can attest, he is just as much at home on the stage as he is in the movies. He truly became Mark Twain right there on stage before our eyes in Delaney Auditorium. In preparation for all of his roles, he does a tremendous amount of research to explore and develop character of the person he will be portraying. He tells me he has always been interested in the genius and the humor of our Missouri Mark Twain, and his goal is to portray a little bit of his own interpretation of the famous author and humorist who is considered our state treasure. The one-man play, Citizen Twain, is his way of preparing for the latest project. It is a film that focuses attention on Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy, two important people from the 19th century. Planning to star as Mark Twain in the movie, Val also wrote the screenplay. Val, it has been our honor to have you on our campus this week. We are delighted that you have decided to come to Missouri, and we hope that you will return to William Woods University. And we sincerely thank you for agreeing to serve as our 142nd commencement speaker. So won't you please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker and our friend, Val Kilmer, and thanking him for a memorable week.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm going to start right off with the Twain quote. I was born modest, but it wore off. That won't be my last Twain quote. Thank you, President Barnett, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and our very special guest, the graduating class of William Woods University 2012. I'm very honored to stand here with you today on the ground from which our great nation's greatest satirist was born. And as I've just performed a play that I've written about Mark Twain here on your beautiful campus, I shall quote him freely. I've pretended to be him for long enough to assume that right, but not without apologizing for it first. Please indulge me, I'm also dedicating my commencement speech to my little brother, who displayed more creativity and joy of life through art than anyone I've ever met. In his short life on earth, he made everyone believe life is beautiful and fun and exciting. He was a true artist. He never got the chance to go to college, but he taught me that art keeps us active and grateful about the most crucial aspects of living. Sometimes a song or a drawing or a joke, when we listen to a story with real focus, when art touches an eternal truth, we become united, we forget our differences, we share life without judgment, we love our enemies as ourselves. I also need to acknowledge my older brother, who has a hard-earned doctorate in psychology. He helps people understand themselves by first listening to their stories and thereby assisting in understanding life's great mysteries. He's doing it right now, so he couldn't be here with me today. He was my first call when I was offered this special honor. And there was a weighty silence. "What's it for?" he said. "What's the doctorate for?" I hadn't thought about it, so I thought, well, maybe they like Doc Holliday so much they want me to be Val Kilmer. I also need to thank my own children. They help me always to be humble and to remember that a life not lived for others is not life. This is an important lesson, what I'm doing now, being personal in acting. It's important to be personal. Often you have to hear this, don't take it personally. We hear this all our lives, but in acting, it's exactly the opposite. Take life personally. My little brother died tragically, but he taught me early life is precious, so be positive. Here's another Twain quote. "There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist." My older brother taught me perseverance. He lived a whole lifetime that didn't work out, but he went back to school and he got a degree, and now he's thriving. Recently, of course, I've been inspired by pretending to be someone else, Mark Twain. I've only a few things in common with this great man. Well, one I'm not too proud of. It's his humorous take on his inability to do well in school. Twain has written perhaps the most memorable thoughts against formal education. For example, "Never let schooling interfere with your education." Or, "God made the idiot for practice, and then he made the school board." I have to quote the... He also said, "No sinner is saved after the first 20 minutes of a sermon," so I'm going to try to be brief. "Success is a journey, not a destination," he wrote. "The most important thing I learned in acting school was how to learn. And the main thing I have to offer you, graduating class, is to listen." It's what I love most about Twain. He was a strong, creative individual, successful, resourceful, but he paused at the height of his fame and spent years and years waiting and listening, trusting the voice within to reveal to him something more unique and special to write about. And then he wrote his masterpiece, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. That listening took a lot of confidence and trust. He listened and traveled and laughed and wrote about our greatest achievements and perhaps of more lasting importance, our greatest failures. He wrote with love and humor and compassion. As an actor, lesson number one is to get to know yourself. Take time to get to know yourself. Listen to how you think. It matters. Twain was the funniest writer, but first by being the best listener. I've been writing a film about Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy for 8 years now, and editing and preparing this play, some of you saw the other night, for about 3. Don't be afraid to put in the time for something that you believe in. I'm deeply grateful to have been received so positively here in Twain's home state. You've given me hope. I make no claims to being great, but some of you good people seem to appreciate my efforts when I pretend to be. It's a good living. Twain's quote, "Give yourself a compliment. If you can't get a compliment in any other way, do like Congress does. Give yourself a compliment." Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Get your facts first, then you can distort them however you please. Kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. All generalizations are false, including this one. Here's some notes on acting. Trust your instincts. Practice listening. If you're not listening, you're not learning. Listen to nature. Listen to your opposites. Listen to your elders. But I repeat myself. Twain said, When I was a teenager, my father was an idiot. I was amazed at how much he learned by the time I was 21. Couple more Twain quotes. If you want to be good, then you're going to be lonely. The world will be completely different all of a sudden. You'll see. When I was a kid, for example, there were only 2 telephones at our school. It happens fast. I had a comparative religions teacher when I was young. He seemed to read our minds the first day of class, and he said, "Don't worry, you're not going to get anyone else's religion on you." He taught us to listen to another's beliefs with an open mind. Very often, by listening to another's point of view without judgment, we come away with a very surprising new perspective about our own. Think about this simple phrase, an open mind. Now, you've heard it all your lives, but I want you to hear it again today like it's the first time you've ever heard it. To listen with an open mind. What a blessing to have the courage and confidence to see things freshly your whole life. I'm very grateful to my parents who offered me a spiritual foundation and were always so positive about being an individual. Always be yourself. Someone came up to me the other day and they thought I was someone else. I said, "I am." That's a Dimitri joke. I didn't write that. When I first started acting, I was shy, but audiences always clapped, so I knew I was on the right track. They clapped. They stood up and clapped. They clapped in grade school and high school, and some people thought I was crazy planning to move to New York when I was only 14. I dropped out of high school and homeschooled myself and read Shakespeare and poetry. My brother said I figured out college while he was still trying to figure out whether he wanted McDonald's or Wendy's. Then I was accepted to the Juilliard School for Dramatic Art, probably the best college for classical training in the world. And an interesting thing happened at Juilliard. They stopped clapping. I was told that I didn't know how to walk, let alone act, that I'd entered the highest attrition rate of any school in the world, that I would be cut before the end of the first year, and not to worry if I wasn't cut at the end of the first year, I would be cut at the second year. 1 out of 15, every other student in my class got cut. Then I had the dubious honor of being the first student in the history of the school to be put on probation every year. I was told this by the teacher who hated me the most. She said it was a compliment. I was not living up to their expectation of my talent. Since I didn't know how to walk or stand or sit or dance or breathe or think, acting was out of the question. When I did act, one of the teachers made it a point to yawn every time. Perhaps they were right, but the one thing I had a natural confidence about was believing in acting. I just listened and I prayed and I pushed through those parts that I couldn't relate to, and eventually a play came along that enabled me to prove to my teachers that they'd made the right decision by keeping the surfer from California in New York City. So my moral about education is never forget the importance of believing and of listening. Pretend you are great. At least you'll have some laughs. Act great and unique and special. It's very simple to act great. Twain was taken out of school when he was 12 years old, and he made up his entire life. And now this is the best time to be an American. He thought so then, and I think so now. The opportunity is glorious. I stand with you today at the threshold of the greatest nation's greatest changes. They await you. With humility and gratitude, I urge you to act great, and you will be great. Before I conclude, I'd like to quote Twain one more time about listening to the great Mississippi at dawn. He called it the eloquence of silence. I want to share a bit of that eloquence with you now. Some of my last moments, some of the last moments you were in school. Let's unite and be inspired just for a moment before my last sentence with the eloquence of silence. But you don't have to be quiet. You just keep crying. Here we go, the eloquence of silence. Without a single cell phone ring. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Val, very much. I must tell y'all, as we've been discussing his message to you along the way, he would keep telling me, he said, I don't know what they want to hear. And at one point, I remember he said, I think I just need to hire a speechwriter in New York. And I said, Val, they want to hear you, the person. And that is exactly who we heard this morning. Thank you very, very much, very sincerely. I now call Dan Westhuse, Vice Chair of the William Woods University Board of Trustees, forward to join me in awarding Val Kilmer the degree honoris causa. Dan.
From time to time, the faculty and the Board of Trustees of William Woods University wish to acknowledge certain individuals for their significant accomplishments. The people they choose to honor are people who have demonstrated a strong commitment to their careers and who have achieved a great deal of success in their personal lives. They are people who can be held up as models of success for our students as they face their own challenges upon graduation from William Woods. We are pleased at this time to include Val Kilmer in the select number by awarding him an honorary degree. One of the most prolific actors of his generation, Val Kilmer has worked with many of film's most respected directors and actors. His memorable roles include Batman in Batman Forever, Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, which was my favorite, Doctor.
Oh, I should have known that.
Simon Templar in The Saint, and of course, Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
Which was my favorite.
I know.
I know.
Val started his acting career when he entered the prestigious Juilliard drama program at the age of 17. At the time, he was the youngest person to be accepted. His professional acting career began on stage, and as we well know, here at this university, he continues to participate in the theater. His latest project is a film that focuses attention on two important people from the 19th century, Missouri's own Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy. In preparation for the movie, Val created and now performs a one-man show titled Citizen Twain, which he delves into the heart and soul of Samuel Clemens and conjures forth the great spirit of Mark Twain, America's greatest storyteller. In recognition of his creative abilities and his contribution to art and theater, it is my pleasure to award the honorary doctorate to Val Kilmer. Let me read the citation for you. The faculty and the Board of Trustees of William Woods University, in recognition of distinguished achievement, confer upon Val Kilmer the honorary degree, Honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts, with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, Val.
Will Dan Westhuse and Dale LaRue please bring Mr. Kilmer forward? In accordance with unanimous directive from the Board of Trustees, based on a recommendation from members of the faculty and administration, and by virtue of the power vested in me as president of William Woods University, it is my esteemed pleasure to bring you greetings, Val Kilmer, to welcome you, and to order that the appropriate hood be placed on your shoulders, and to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa, with all rights, honors, and privileges thereto appertaining. So members of the Board of Trustees, members of the faculty, students, and our guests, it is my pleasure to present to you Val Kilmer, the Doctor of Fine Arts. Dr. Kilmer, we salute you. Thank you. Mr. Dale LaRue, up, down, Vice Chairman of the University Board of Trustees, will present the senior class of 2012.
Will the graduating class of 2012 please stand? In accordance with the unanimous directive of the Board of Trustees and by the virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees, it is my esteemed pleasure to bring you greetings, graduates, to welcome you, and to direct the President to confer upon you the appropriate degree.
By the authority vested in me as President of William Woods University and by the State of Missouri, I take great pleasure in conferring upon each of you the degree to which you are entitled, with all rights, honors, and privileges thereto appertaining. My warmest congratulations to you all, and to the parents, families, and friends, and spouses, and children who have supported you in accomplishing this most worthy achievement. If you'll wait just one moment before you move, I reached down to get a glass of water, and what did I find but Mr. Kilmer's honorary degree. Okay then. We will now proceed with the awarding of the diplomas to this year's graduating class. Dr. Frankman will call the candidates to the platform. Now, this is a joyous occasion, and trust me, there will be time for celebration at the conclusion after each of our graduates have received their diploma. So we respectfully request that you hold your applause until each of our graduates has received his or her diploma. This will ensure that we can progress in a timely manner. Because no degree is achieved alone, and we know that you wish to share in this celebration, we invite family members in attendance to stand and to be recognized as their son, daughter, spouse, parent, or sometimes grandparent proudly receives his or her diploma. Dr. Frankman.
Bachelor of Arts, Kelly Johnson Elliott. Alicia Green. Amanda Workman. Gentry Pickett. Dustin Z. West. Samuel Binkley. Hannah B. Odell. Catherine Chott. Morgan Cassidy Parkhurst. Kayla Renee Lovell. Abby Schumann. Andrea Louise Yanez Morin. Elizabeth Ann Cato. Stephanie Elizabeth Fisher. Jennifer Kiesel. Amanda Foster. Aaron Crooks. Aaron Cash. Luis Perkovich. Sharon Andrews. Elizabeth Welker. Jason Cavallone. Madeline Meyer. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Amanda Almec. Catherine Rodeman. Bachelor of Science, Elizabeth Haben. Joni Spurgeon. Jesse Steinhoff. Priscilla Lee Kalberg. Lindsay Stelma. Cheryl Pollock. Jesse Salinger. Marie Arnold. Heather Nicole McCaskey. Jillian Nicole Tracy. Kelsey Faye Spradley. Anna Farha. Rachel Marie Sennett. Alicia K. Schrader. Sarah Knapp. April Brittany Jones. Ashley Dawn Martin. Katie Klingeman. Eliza Catherine Payne. Jessica Jordan Doak. Lauren Michelle Greenwald. Jessica Bargate. Erica P. Campbell. Robert Weiser. Brian Doherty. James Fitzmaurice. Laura Bassett. Maggie O'Leary. Bailey McCollum. Jenna Martin. Sarah Hayden. Sarah Ann Slutz. Ashley Clendenin. Kirsten Hanford. Jennifer Carroll. Bridget Doig. Gina Davis. Elizabeth Thomas. Paige Graves. Jessica Campmeyer. Riley Groves. Courtney Weberg. Kirsten Hipkins. Miranda Lesh. Aubrey Harwood. Hannah Bonnie Brose. Avery Thornburg. Marissa McPherson. Amanda Sider. Catherine Annalie Steef. Jada Bennington. Jordan Floyd. Tyler Phillips. Logan Lawson. Tyler Galloway. Robert McMorris. Kyle Burns. Zachary Secoy. Eric Schweitzer. Nathaniel Radcliffe. Kristen Pelly. Daniel Anderson. Robert Williams. Vern Watkins. Adam Otto. Ashley Renee Rutledge. Molly Nichols. Keonta Johnson. Megan Stieferman. Ashley Lorraine Metz. Misty Lee Tellman. Jordan A. Murray. Ashton Elise Clark. Devin Rose Jeffries. Danielle Nicole DeGuida. Bradley Neil Deerhoff. Courtney Leanne Wilkinson. Corinda Schulte. Kelsey Schulte. Mariah Dannison. Heath Jones. Andrew Lewis Newdecker. Lauren Fleming. Spirit Stevens. Sarah Pinkston. Jordan Locke. Jamie Murphy. Kristen Busher. Anna Fink. Stephanie Brimmer. Zane Garr. Zachary Daniel Hurst. Ryan Ellis. Meagan Roberts. Benjamin Nicholson. William Huber. Emily Hopkins. Talisha Petty. Ashley Daly. Bachelor of Social Work, Olivia Nicholson. Janine Burns. Madeline Ortego. Devin Bain. Cassie Huff. Callie McLean.
Will all of our newest alumni please stand and let us congratulate you. Graduates, this is your opportunity to stand up, look right, and thank the people who got you through, the faculty. Okay, please be seated, and congratulations to you all. Those of you who know me well, and there were many in this particular class, know that I will take my last opportunity to share a few words with you. I would first like to simply say good morning to all of our guests, our family and friends. And we are here today during the 142nd, that's a big number, commencement. We're here to celebrate your accomplishments. Today, you have accomplished something that only 27% of Americans have achieved, graduating from college. That's right, only 27%. You stand before us, the elite. Reaching this goal sets you apart, just as choosing William Woods University set you apart. I congratulate you on both. However, I urge you to remember what Tom Brokaw, the television journalist and former anchor of the NBC Nightly News, said, and listen to this. You are educated. Your certification is in your degree. You may think of it as the ticket to the good life. Let me ask you to think of it as an alternative. Think of it as your invitation to change the world. Around our campus, you often hear the phrase, the Woods Way. Webster defines the word way as a manner or method of doing, a method of accomplishing. At William Woods, the Woods Way is the way in which we live, we learn, and play. It is our small campus with big school opportunities. It is our knowledgeable faculty who impart their wisdom and their experiences. It is our support of athletic teams and the theatrical performances. It is our participation in student life activities and attending lead events. It is just walking across this beautiful campus. But most importantly, the Woods Way is our way of succeeding. Your focus, your ambition, your sacrifices, and the determination you have shown in completing your degree are evidence of your success in the Woods Way. This weekend, we are holding 2 commencement ceremonies, one this morning and later this afternoon. We will be conferring degrees on 235 graduates, which brings our combined total number of graduates in the past year alone to 867. This morning, we are honoring the students who have studied on this campus. But later today, we will be conferring degrees on students in our outreach programs, literally from all over the state. It is the Woods way and that love of learning that shapes us all, wherever our classes are held. At William Woods University, we exist to educate, not just in the classroom, but through campus and community involvement as well. We place a high value on the experiences that enhance a student's education. We encourage that involvement, as you know, and I believe your lives are much richer for it. Many of you share in this belief. You have made the most of your time here at William Woods by living the Woods way, and I believe your lives are fuller and richer as a result. Although you have each made an individual contribution, there's a group of you who have given me special advice and support. You have met with me regularly throughout the years actually, to share our challenges and to talk about our successes, to facilitate change and to monitor progress. You are the members of President's 20. There are 9 of you graduating this morning, and I want to thank you sincerely for your assistance in so many, many ways. But I'm proud of all of you, all of our graduates, both from what you have accomplished here at the Woods, but more so what you will achieve later in life. You, our students, embody the Woods way. You leave your mark, forever changing and being changed by our university. You leave here today to pursue your life's work. But it is in the words of Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Anna Quindlen that I want to share. Don't ever confuse the two, your life and your work. You will walk out of here this afternoon with only one thing that no one else has. There will be hundreds of people out there with your same degree. There will be thousands of people doing what you want to do for a living. But you will be the only person alive who has sole custody of your life. Your particular life. Your entire life. Not just your life at a desk or at a computer or your life on a bus or in a car or a plane. Not just the life of your mind, but the life of your heart. Not just your bank account, but your soul. You alone have custody. It was not long ago that a special friend of mine sent me a one-sentence email. It was a quote from Mark Twain. It seems particularly appropriate today. Apparently, there is nothing that cannot happen today. Yes, graduates, all things are possible, particularly for you, the next generation. Another famous novelist, Robert Louis Stevenson, said, "Do not judge each day by the harvest you reap, but judge it by the seeds that you plant." So we hope that you have planted many seeds your time here at William Woods of a successful career and a very successful life. Many of you will recall my often stated conviction that your best time here at William Woods is the beginning of the best rest of your life. Orrin Hatch, the senior United States Senator from Utah, once remarked, "There is a good reason they call these ceremonies commencement." A good reason we call them commencement exercises. It is because graduation is not the end. It is the beginning. So I believe your college should be a stepping stone to the best years yet to come. Take the memories, take the experiences you have gained here, and use them. Use them to create a fulfilling future. Use them for your soul. Continue living the Woods way, but make it your own. Always learning, always striving to be the best. Challenge yourself and never settle. We trust that your education you have received at William Woods, both inside and outside the classroom, has served to give you that foundation, the foundation to ensure that the rest of your life is truly, absolutely the best of your life. So make it so. As Mark Twain once said, always do right. And our speaker as well. This will gratify some people and it will astonish the rest. So I encourage you, do right, gratify some of us, and astonish a lot. My sincere congratulations to you all. I wish that you take care of your soul, leave here today with the absolute best education you could possibly have received, and go forth, do something, make us proud, and keep in touch. Thank you very much. The 142nd commencement of William Woods University is now adjourned, but I ask our guests to please remain seated until the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates have exited the auditorium. Thank you.